go. Come with me, dear fans and viewers, into the time before Bionicle. Lego Technic was the group behind the creation and release of the Bionicle series here. But did you know they had two other series, represented by these containers? First up is the Bionicle Technic Slizzer, of which I've got 6 of, one of which is missing a part at the moment. I'll have to go get that for a part. Which was released in 1999. In 2000, they released the Robo Raiders. This is the dust one. And on the box here on the Robo Raiders, we've got a Swamp, Lava, Frost, Onyx, and Power. They could be temporarily put in the fridge so you could reveal a code for them. And they could store inside the containers, and of course they could launch their flywheels. So I'm going to take all of them out of the container, and I'm going to explain to you as much as I know about why Technic went with Bionicle here. Essentially, in the latter half of the 20th century, Lego was beginning to go under quite badly. Their themes at the time were not doing too great. City was becoming a bit, well, as I say, a bit dull. Technic was doing as well as it could, but as it was a more adult theme, it wasn't really selling well enough. And of course, at the time, they'd just done the Star Wars group. The Star Wars figures, which included some buildable figures from the just released Phantom Menace, and some of the older Lego Star Wars sets. As a result, Lego was kind of needing money. So Technic started creating a bit of these really nice custom toys and figures. Starting off with Slizer here, or Robotech. No, that's a different group I'm referring to. Slizer was essentially a group of 6 characters you could collect that were robots from another planet. These characters had little gimmicks, were color-coded to be each differently, and this would later transition into the other series that Technic would do, including Bionicle. But Slizer wouldn't really last as well, and nor would Robo Rider. In fact, it's not really mentioned much in in the Lego group. And that's sad, because without these figures, we wouldn't have a Lego Bionicle, because these served as the pre-molds that you can. Because, for example, some of these limbs, more importantly this guy's limbs here, are actually reutilized in the Rakshi characters. And the yellow one here, his limbs are reused for Makuta Bittle in 2009. But they had their impact, and without them, Lego wouldn't have been able to create their amazing, this essentially what would save them in 2001. And of course then you had a lawsuit, unfortunately. So, now that we've got everyone out, we're going to explain anything. We've got Taku here from 2001. We have the Judge Slizer. This is what they're called on the instructions. We have the City Slizer, the Rock Slizer, the Jungle Slizer, and the Energy Slizer, as well as the Dust Robo Raider. The white one I do have, which is called, I think, the Frost Slizer, is missing a part, as I said, and it's something I will have to restore. So let's start with, we're going to start with the Judge Slizer. Now, the Judge Slizer here, as you can see, is yellow and black, and I think that's a really cool color scheme, because we don't really get to see much yellow done. It is, a really weird-looking helicopter, and it can move its head in and out on a special constructed joint system that allows it to move its wings. You can also equip 2 of these would later inspire the early Matoran throwing arms with these discs that it could equip and throw them at people. But I'm not going to throw them. And as you can see, it's got a very interesting articulation style. It kind of looks like a robot ready to, well, hunt. Here is the city slicer. As you can see, it is a robot. It's a car. Its really fun feature is you can lower or raise it up thanks to this little system here. It's a very fun little thing. And again, another one of these Matoran arms. And again, it's in a very unique colour. We don't get to see many aqua colours.
Or teal.
Or teal, yeah, no, thank you, Nightcap Gaming. Who is my cameraman for this? Here is the rock one, and he basically is like, look at me, I am Minecraft. In the year 1999. These little Rock Raider pickaxes, one of which is run the wrong way. It's going to annoy me. And again, yep, we can. But I can't really say we don't get to see many of the tan. We do. Pohatu in 2001, and this dude here, are tan. And tan continues to be one of the main selling points. Here is the jungle, and again, it's pretty dope. And it's actually a small robot. And again, with the city slicer, it has a gear system that you can move. And it comes armed with a little Japanese samurai katana. So really, this is technically the first character to have the dark katana. What? MD confirmed? I see that, no, not approving head joint. Head shake. I'll deal with the sword later. Finally, here is the energy one, and this is a very interesting camo scheme, because it's black and purple. We don't get to see black and purple as well. I kind of wish they did release purple in that. For those of you who remember back in 2001, we got a rumoured 7th Toa, a Toa of Lightning, named Vortex, who was purple and black. So really, this set the scene for what was about to come, but Technic tried with one other group. Robo Raiders. Now, as you can see here, this character can got a little higher due to a rubber band system in the back here, which is there for me. I don't know where it's meant to be. I think it's meant to be onto multiple different things. And of course, as you saw in the container, it can yeet. Once you weasel it out, its front wheel at other people, as you can see. There's a little robo on the wheel, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I really don't know much about, unfortunately, these two series, as, well, to be frank, I was alive at the time, but in the years 1999 and 2000, I was expecting something a bit different than a Lego set. In fact, 2000, the year that the Robo Raiders came out, was the year that Nightcap Gaming here was born. So, I was expecting a younger sibling, not a Lego set. But all of that, unfortunately, was a bit of a failure. Until it led into the Bionicle. You could say that these are all proto-Bionicles in different shapes and forms. And I don't know what the rest of the continuity, like what the rest of the Bionicle universe fandom is on including Slicer and Robo Riders into the Bionicle mythos. But I think it's a bit more like of I'll just simply put it like Bionicle and Hero Factory. They're in different universes. Again, that doesn't really matter to me, because for me, I've added Slicer and Robo Riders into my Bionicle mythos, and I will do a whole video on that later. But I want to say a huge thank you to a couple mates of mine. The mate named Jizza, who sold me the Slicers here, all 6 of them, minus the one that is not here. And to Piss Piss, who gave me this full Robo Rider. I really do enjoy them. They are a lot of fun. They're really interesting, and they're actually something I quite like having, because they're, well, different. In your Bionicle collections. And not only that, but it's also quite interesting to see how Technic went from this to this, to that. And really the different changes that they did on the way. This is Duncan Hoover saying, G1 Superior, and I'll catch you next time.